Tonight on our news, live at 7, SpaceX prepares for the first ever international rocket landing. The Falcon 9 booster set to touch down off the Exumas tomorrow. We'll tell you the giant leap for space tourism as former NASA rocket scientist Aisha Bowe shares her excitement. The nation about to take center stage. Plus, staying out of it. The Prime Minister insists CARICOM will remain neutral amid U.S.-China tensions, dismissing calls from Congress for a delegation at the upcoming CARICOM meeting. This as the nation's leader defends marital rape legislation off the top tonight amid a renewed debate. Then in our news at 7:30, a local bishop demands tougher penalties after a recent twin molestation case, joining other voices calling for harsher punishment to truly reflect the severity of the crime. Our news live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to our news live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. As the debate over criminalizing marital rape reignites, the Prime Minister standing by recently passed legislation designed to protect the vulnerable from violence. This comes after he avoided addressing the issue during last week's House of Assembly session when questioned directly. Speaking today on the sidelines of Urban Renewal Authority launch, the Prime Minister argued that rape shouldn't need to be categorized. It's a position he's kept for quite a while, but it's still being met with strong opposition from advocates who insist on clear definitions and protections. Joshua Williams gets us started tonight.
Prime Minister Philip Davis is defending a law he says protects women from violence, even as calls to criminalize marital rape have resurfaced. Back in 2022, government drafted a bill to criminalize marital rape. It was set to be presented to Parliament by the end of 2023, but with Parliament prorogued, the Protection Against Violence Act was later passed instead. The law has sparked controversy. While some praise its benefits, critics say it falls short. And with recent incidents reigniting the debate, the Prime Minister insists the notion that nothing is being done is just wrong.
Well, the Violence Against Persons Act that we passed, look at that, and I think they'll see that we have addressed issues in respect of violence against women.
Despite his defense, many remain unsatisfied the law does not specifically address marital rape. Attorney General Ryan Pinner has also been criticized for claiming new legislation may not be a priority for the Davis administration. But Davis sticking to his previously held position on the issue, saying rape is rape, regardless of marital status.
Why you want to describe rape? Rape is rape. Marital is descriptive, right? And so we all lament and abhor any man who would inflict violence on his wife.
The Bahamas Crisis Center is among the groups demanding more action. Last year, the center rejected the Prime Minister's view that rape should not be categorized. On Monday, I spoke with Executive Director Dr. Sandra Dean Patterson, who renewed calls for stronger measures, including the formation of an authority.
I'm hoping government will rethink that because, you know, the pain of spousal sexual assault. I think the word marital creates confusion in people's minds. They think marriage, they think we're talking about sex in marriage, which we're not. We're talking about violence.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Joshua. A bus driver now facing charges after allegedly injuring another bus driver in a shooting incident. According to prosecutors, on February 11th, 33-year-old Kadiro Munro opened fire on Stephen Colley, striking his right arm during the altercation. Munro is charged with attempted murder and possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life. During his appearance before Chief Magistrate Roberta Reckley, he did not enter pleas to the charges and bail was denied. Munro is scheduled to return to court on April 17th. The shooting in question reportedly occurred on Yamacraw Hill Road following an argument between the two drivers. And a major win for middle managers at University of the Bahamas, who now have a new 5-year industrial agreement. The deal was finalized Friday with key representatives from the Public Managers Union, as well as UB President Janine Harder and Board Chair Alison Maynard Gibson, among other key leaders. The new agreement, which runs from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2029, has several benefits, including professional leave valued at $6,000. Assistant Secretary General Antona Curry outlined several other key provisions.
This agreement includes several key benefits that are worthy of celebration. For the first time, middle managers who complete their doctoral degrees will receive compensation in alignment with the terms of the agreement, acknowledging their dedication to academic excellence and professional growth. Provisions for overtime compensation, financial increments upon promotion, and a reduction in insurance premiums from 40% to 30% have been included.
And those benefits aside, Harder touted the agreement as a catalyst for a stronger community.
I think it's a sign of a community when we can come together and agree on issues of workplace relationships. And that I have every reason to believe that University of the Bahamas is one of the best communities there is. And we're very proud that we have honored each other, worked with each other, argued with each other, but remembered, as Mrs. Curry pointed out a few moments ago, that we are united by something very important, our mission to support and drive national development.
And Prime Minister Philip Davis says CARICOM won't get involved in the geopolitical issues between the United States and China. His comments come after several members of the U.S. Congress have penned a letter to Secretary of State Marco Rubio urging a high-level delegation be sent to the 48th regular meeting of the heads of government of the Caribbean community. The Bahamas has had a working relationship with China for years now, both nations collaborating on a number of key projects and investments. In a statement released Monday afternoon, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell said there's no evidence to support the view that the Bahamas is being used as a platform by China to attack the United States. When asked if a U.S. delegation should be sent to CARICOM, though, the Prime Minister had this to say.
We have always taken the position of being non-aligned in respect to those matters, and I think that position will continue. And it is for them. If you recall, when I hosted CARICOM in 2023, in February 2023, as chairman, they had a delegation of over 60 here, and again, their influence was felt.
In less than 24 hours, history expected to be made tomorrow at approximately 6:15 p.m. Eastern Time. SpaceX will execute the world's first international rocket landing, touching down off the coast of Exumas in a dazzling blend of cutting-edge technology and, of course, our Bahamian tropical beauty. Now, as the Falcon 9 booster descends from the stars, it will place the nation at the forefront of space tourism revolution. Bahamian ex-NASA rocket scientist and now space relations consultant at Ministry of Tourism, Aisha Bowe, we spoke with her ahead of this historic moment. She expressed her excitement over what's to come.
You'll be able to see this landing from many places. Not only will Cape Eleuthera be a viewing location, you should be able to see a piece off the West End in Grand Bahama. There will be persons who will eventually be able to see it in the water. It will be beamed on SpaceX landing watch party, which goes to the entire world. And it really is a moment where, for the first time, some of the very same people, the millions of people who go to Florida every year to see launches, they will have the option now to come to the Bahamas to see landings.
And Bowe, who is set to become the first Bahamian woman in space, urging us all to embrace this new frontier and make our mark on the global stage.
If you're a tour excursion operator, we need you to create excursions. If you make t-shirts, I need to see those in the straw market. If you have anything to add to the tourism product, go out and do it, because this is the first of several landings which are planned, and there'll be opportunities for people right now to engage with those coming off the boats, for them to plan things in other islands. And I want to see the Bahamian public fully embrace that and take advantage of their revenue opportunity.
All right, exciting times. We've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is standing by in the Weather Center. Greg, did you ever think you would get to see something like this happen? I mean, we're about to watch this rocket landing. I don't think I ever thought we'd see a day that, we'd see this.
Yeah, unfortunate for us, we have a frontal boundary that's just to the north of the capital, so we should see something out there. We won't have much in terms of clouds, but yeah.
So who may not be able to get a view? I know we just heard there that some parts of Eleuthera will definitely get to see. Yeah.
But the front is falling apart, so the skies are going to be not as cloudy. It should have less clouds, so people in the northwest Bahamas should see at least some form of that rocket.
Yeah, and obviously we're still following that, but boy, Greg, we're also following this polar vortex across the United States. I'm looking at 76 there. Not as not as much fluffy weather here as our folks
using Nate's here. My fluff is home, so you ain't gotta worry about that.
Gosh.
But we have a front that's just to the north of the capital. Temperatures cool up near Grand Bahama. You'll see that in our temperature right now. But it is warm on the south side of it. 77 degrees is our current temperature with a few clouds. North-northeast winds at 10 miles per hour feels like temperature, hanging out at 76. You can tell where the cooler air mass is, and it's not cold, it's just a cool air mass. 71 in Freeport, 72 in Marshall, Barbacoa, and 73 in Alistown, Bimini. So that front is right across that area. 76 in Great Harbor Key, 78 Nickel San Andres, Governor's Harbor. Over in the Central Bahamas, 78 in Kemps Bay. 75 Arthurstown, Cat Island, Georgetown, and Deadman's Key, 77 Coburn Town, San Salvador, 76, and into the southeast Bahamas, 77 Duncan Town, Ragged Island, Abrams Bay, Providenciales, Tricks, and Caicos. Pair of 76s in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, and Delectable Bay, Acklands, and Matthew Town in Agua. You are the warm spot. Temperature right now of 80 degrees. Satellite radar composite. This is what's happening. Don't mind this here. This is high-level clouds, high-level moisture moving across the central and southeast Bahamas. That front is actually right across South Abaco, pushing through the Berry Islands. Still trying to jog towards the south, but that front is going to continue to fall apart. Whatever moisture is left should lift back towards the north. High pressure building in behind that, not as strong, but we do expect a more significant front to get near sometime Thursday, and another front expected even on the weekend. So we're looking at a couple of fronts and some cooling temperatures during that time. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Thanks, Greg. And still to come on our news, Operation Breakthrough. The church and police unite for an inner-city renewal. The Highway Church of God heads into the Grove community for its annual convention. But first,
coming up in sports, GSSSA wraps up their basketball championships, and the Tabernacle Falcons are back on top in Grand Bahama Hoops.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference. Securing the future. Navigating cyber challenges in business. Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Atlantis, Paradise Island. Register today. This is how we unleash resilience. This is how we create innovation. Together, let's secure the digital future.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Championships wrapped up over the weekend, and while the juniors saw some familiar faces reclaiming the titles, we had new winners in the seniors. In the junior boys, the most dominant basketball program in the country, the D.W. Davis Royals, won their 8th consecutive division title in a series sweep over the C.H. Reeves Raptors. In junior girls play, it took 3 consecutive games, but the Raptors won their 3rd consecutive title, completing the backdoor sweep over the Royals. In the senior boys, the C.I. Gibson Rattlers got the better of Anatole Rogers T-Wolves in the last 2 finals. This year, it will be the T-Wolves hosting the championship trophy in convincing fashion. The senior girls series also went down to a 3rd and deciding game before the Rattlers took down the defending champion CB Bethel Stingrays. Over in Grand Bahama, the Tabernacle Falcons are back as the senior boys champions. The Falcons defeated the defending champion and top-seeded Sunland Stingers in a 2-game sweep. Anthony Mizik was named the MVP after averaging 17.5 points per game in the series, while his teammate Joquan Roll was named the top defensive player. VJ Edgecombe spent Friday night watching his fellow Bimini Hoopers star in local high school basketball, so naturally, he had to go out and get a win of his own on Saturday. Edgecombe stuffed the stat sheet across the board and finished with 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in Baylor's 74-71 win over West Virginia. Others in D1 basketball didn't fare as well. AJ Storr and the number 17 Jayhawks lost 74-67 to the Utah Utes. Frederick King and the number 24 Creighton Blue Jays lost 79-73 to number 9 St. John's. And finally, Dayton Aubrey and Utah State lost 82-79 to New Mexico. That will do it for our sports. Stay tuned for our news at 7:30 for details on these stories and more. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as a Delta flight flips on landing at Toronto Pearson, injuring 8. The dramatic video that shows the plane belly up on a snow-covered tarmac. Plus, polar vortex braces for the Rockies as deadly cold and severe storms stretch across the United States. And Pope Francis is hospitalized with a complex respiratory infection, the latest on his condition and the canceled Holy Year events. When our news returns.
Stop shopping here. The family, community, for me. Southwest Plaza, come shop with us.
Yo, what's good, my loyal viewers? Ronaldo Dorset of 10YS here. First of all, thanks so much for watching, but be sure to hit that follow button. If you'd like to see more content like this, follow all of the R News social media pages, and of course, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team, well, from the teams you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts.
This is our news. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. A Delta flight from Minneapolis flipped on landing at Toronto Pearson International Airport on Monday, injuring 18 people. Delta has said that 3 of them are critical, while the rest have mild to moderate injuries. Video footage shows the plane belly up on a snow-covered tarmac as emergency crews doused it with water. All 80 passengers and crew have been safely evacuated, according to airport officials. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada is investigating, and police say the circumstances remain unclear. Harsh weather shifting west as a polar vortex gears up to grip the Rockies and northern plains. After deadly storms in the eastern U.S. killed at least 10 people, with 9 in Kentucky from flooding, life-threatening cold is expected into Tuesday. The National Weather Service warns northeastern Montana could see temperatures as low as 45 degrees Fahrenheit below zero, with similar deadly wind chills in North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. In Kentucky, severe floods have forced over 1,000 rescues and led to a disaster declaration, while parts of Atlanta, Virginia, and West Virginia are also battling the effects. Meanwhile, nearly century-old infrastructure in southwest Detroit burst, submerging streets. This as avalanche warnings have been issued across the Rockies. Pope Francis remains hospitalized in Rome as doctors treat a complex respiratory tract infection, according to the Vatican. The 88-year-old pontiff, who's been battling bronchitis for over a week now, faces a mixed infection that required a change in his drug therapy. Though his condition is said to be stable, the Vatican says he had breakfast on Monday and even made his daily video call to a Gaza parish. The church says his treatment will continue with no set release date. Some Holy Year events, though, have been canceled, while the faithful sending prayers for his speedy recovery.
Well, we certainly wish for him to get better very quickly. You know, he is our father and our shepherd, and so we want his continued health and blessings so we continue to shepherd our church, right, and follow the example of Blessed Apostle Peter. But like the apostles, you know, the Holy Father is, you know, he is called to suffer with Christ and for Christ, all right? And so hopefully he's offering this suffering in the hospital as a time of purification for the whole church. And we wish him, you know, a quick recovery and so he can get back to leading the church.
Argentine President Javier Milei is under fire after promoting the Libra cryptocurrency on social media. Milei's tweet, which included a link to buy the coin, sent its price soaring, only for him to delete the post hours later, leading to a sharp crash and huge losses for investors. Critics, including opposition lawmakers and former President Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner, are calling for his impeachment and even fraud charges, accusing him of orchestrating a rug pull. Meanwhile, the presidential office claims the post was removed to prevent market speculation and says an investigation will determine if any wrongdoing occurred. And new tensions between China and the United States after the State Department removed previous wording on its website about not supporting Taiwan independence. Fiona Jones has the story.
China hit back at the US State Department on Monday after it removed wording from its website that said it does not support Taiwan independence. Washington says the change was part of a routine update. China, which claims the democratically governed island of Taiwan as its own, urged the US to, quote, correct its mistakes. The fact sheet on Taiwan, updated last week, retains Washington's opposition to unilateral change from either Taiwan or from China. But, as well as dropping the phrase, "we do not support Taiwan independence," the page added a reference to Taiwan's cooperation with the Pentagon Technology and Semiconductor Project. It also said the US will support Taiwan's membership in international organizations, quote, where applicable. Beijing regularly denounces any international recognition of Taiwan or contact between Taiwanese and foreign officials. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiakun.
The revision of the fact sheet on US-Taiwan relations by the US State Department, which seriously regressed its position on Taiwan-related issues, seriously violated the One China principle and the 3 Sino-US joint communiques, seriously violated international law and basic norms of international relations, and sent a seriously wrong signal to the Taiwan independent separatist forces. This is another example of the US side's stubborn adherence to the wrong policy of using Taiwan to contain China.
The website update came roughly 3 weeks after US President Donald Trump was sworn into his second term in the White House, and one analyst said this reflects a shift in the Trump-era priorities. The US, like most countries, has no formal diplomatic ties with Taiwan, but is its strongest international backer. Taiwan's government rejects Beijing's sovereignty claims, saying that only the island's people can decide their future.
Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was February 17th. Then in our news at 7:30, Wendy's wins big. Wendy's is set to open on Paradise Island. We'll tell you the move by Atlantis Resort, making it all possible. But first, we'll tell you the new Urban Renewal Authority set to transform inner city life and the former Prime Minister that will lead the charge when our news returns.
Last week. Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference.
On this day in Bahamian history, in 1776, a fleet of ships departed from Delaware to conduct a raid on the town of Nassau in what would turn out to be the first amphibious operation of the Continental Marines. The Bahamas Historical Society notes the fleet was ordered to recover gunpowder and ammunition that had been ordered away from Virginia to New Providence by Governor Lord Dunmore. The 8 ships arrived in the Bahamas 2 weeks later for the Battle of Nassau. Then in 1887, British colonial administrator George Strahan, who served as colonial secretary from 1868 to 1872, died in England. He was 48. Strahan also served as acting governor from 1872 to 1873. In 1905, the Spanish ship Anton was caught in a storm and sank off the coast of Abraham's Bay in Mayaguana. The Historical Society noting the ship and her crew of 6 sailors were rescued by residents, some of whom came to plunder the cargo from the wrecked vessel. The sailors from the boat were held as captives for 16 days before they commandeered a boat and made their escape south to Inagua. And finally, on this day in 1987, Olympic multi-medalist Ramon Miller was born in Nassau. At the 2008 Summer Olympic Games in Beijing, China, Miller helped the men's 4x4 meter relay team win the silver medal. 4 years later, at the 2012 Olympic Games in London, Miller anchored the men's 4x4 meter relay team to a gold medal, earning them the title Golden Knights.
All right, it's convention time for the Highway Church of God. For the second year in a row, the group venturing into the Grove community to connect with and assist inner city residents. General Superintendent Bishop Denzel Roll announced that this year the organization joining forces with South Central Division of the Royal Bahamas Police Force, led by Chief Superintendent Kristlyn Skippings, to focus on the most affected areas. Bishop Roll telling our news Operation Breakthrough will begin with a prayer over the area this Tuesday.
If we don't feed people, somebody else can feed them. If we don't clothe people, there's somebody who can clothe them. But if we don't give them Jesus, if we don't give them hope, nobody else can. If the church doesn't do that role, and we have feeding programs in all of our churches, we have outreach programs in all of our churches, but if we begin majoring in the minor and forget what our true role is at the church, because when we go up, people usually ask, okay, y'all doing Operation Breakthrough, what y'all giving away? Jesus.
That's it. Operation Breakthrough is part of the Highway Church of God's convention, which begins tonight at the Windsor Place Highway Church of God. The forum will see nightly and daytime sessions for all, including youth and young adults on Friday. But it's initiatives like Operation Breakthrough that oftentimes are instrumental in making a major impact in the inner city. Bishop Roll says while it's being done on a larger scale, initiatives like this never stop.
Operation Breakthrough is intended to be a collaborative effort such that it's not just going to be at conventions, it's going to be on a constant basis. So this movement has been turned over to our missions department. And their job is going to be to keep this collective movement, in addition to what's happening individually. This collective movement is going to be happening on a regular basis, and this is really a relaunching during this convention.
All right, to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Talia Hall. She's got the latest headlines. Talia, it's good to have you back. I know you were in Grand Bahama last week for Outlook. It was good to see you there and good to see you in the field.
Thank you.
Excellent to have you back.
Thank you. Yeah. It was good. It was good to be home for a bit, but I'm happy to be back.
Yeah, and I know you had some special people to shout out tonight.
Yes, we have a lot of supporters. So it's from the NIB Compliance Department. Anita Maycock and Samantha Bethel. They say they watch every night.
All right.
You know, it's so
Hi, Miss
important.
Maycock. Hello, Miss Bethel. Thank you for watching.
I know I'm a little late, but I did not forget you guys. All right, thanks so much, Ken. Well, Wendy's wins big after a hard-fought legal showdown. Plus, we'll tell you about the new Urban Renewal Authority set to transform inner-city life. Here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on our News Live at 7:30, the sentencing of a man convicted of molesting his twin daughters sparks outrage. Many say 5 years isn't enough. Our Bethany McDermott has a story coming up, plus a man charged following a deadly drive-by shooting. We have details from the courtroom coming up. Also, after a legal battle, Atlantis has dropped its lawsuit, clearing the way for Wendy's Paradise Island to expand. And later, Grand Bahama shines a spotlight on female excellence in STEM. See how young minds are being inspired in the world of science and innovation when our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference. Securing the future. Navigating cyber challenges in business. Thursday, February 20th, 2025. Atlantis, Paradise Island. Register today. This is how we unleash resilience. This is how we create innovation. Together, let's secure the digital future.
Candino Notes here, and thank you so much for watching. Be sure and hit that follow button if you want to see more stories like this. Be sure and follow all of the R News social media pages. And hey, don't forget, turn on your notifications so you never miss out on top stories from the team you already trust.
Diet-friendly special.
Welcome to our news. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Talia Hall. While a local bishop is joining calls for harsher penalties following a shocking case that has left a community reeling. Just over a week ago, a man was sentenced to 5 years in prison for molesting his twin daughters, a sentence that many say is too lenient given the gravity of the crime. Tonight, our Bethany McDermott has more.
Highway Church of God General Superintendent Bishop Denzel Rolle says to fathom that a father can be aroused or stimulated by his twin daughters speaks to a level of depravity beyond words.
I believe we're approaching the worst of the worst. Meaning that that is not a slap on the wrist kind of offense. Because if you can do that to your daughter, what could you possibly do to my daughter?
The man was sentenced after a judge rejected a lesser sentence proposed by the prosecution and defense. His 16-year-old daughter tearfully recounted to the jury how she witnessed her naked father touching one of her siblings inappropriately. The defendant had also admitted to assaulting his now 4-year-old daughter. Although he faced a maximum sentence of 8 years, his early guilty plea and clean record led to a reduced sentence. But Bishop Rolle is perplexed.
To tell me that the law gives for 8 years and because of the guilty plea it's 5 years, I believe we need to revisit the law. And I think anyone that doesn't see that, we may need to give you some counseling as well.
But adding to an already tragic situation, according to Bishop Roll, is the impact situations like these can have on the community. He says oftentimes residents and family members are left in fear or angry.
When a young lady, or like Bishop Bain mentioned, a young man is so violated, there is a fear, there is a destabilizing effect, there's an anger, and the ramifications of these type acts, we see it.
And the long-term effects are equally troubling for young men, according to First Assistant General Superintendent Bishop Carvin Bain.
The same thing about the young boys that are going or have gone through this same level of incestuous behavior, that it paralyzes them from developing into the men that they are called to be.
Reporting for our news, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks so much for that, Berthany. Well, a man is behind bars after prosecutors say he shot and killed a man in a drive-by shooting. Settler Ariste faced charges of murder and conspiracy to commit murder when he stood before Chief Magistrate Roberto Rackley. Prosecutors allege that Ariste planned the murder of Kenneth Neely along with others and carried it out on February 2nd. Ariste didn't have to enter pleas to the charges and was denied bail. He returns to court on April 24th to receive voluntary bill of indictment papers. This means the evidence against him will be presented in the case fast-track from the magistrate to the Supreme Court. Neely was shot multiple times while driving a gray-colored Nissan Cube on East Street South when the occupants of a white car opened fire on him. Neely died in hospital on February 7th. An autopsy is set to be performed for a victim discovered after a devastating structural fire last Thursday evening. That's according to Press Liaison Chief Superintendent Sharia King, who says the incident has not yet been officially classified. The fire devastated a two-story building that housed 8 apartments on the upper floor and a convenience store on the ground floor. Investigators are still probing the case, noting the victim's body was found only after the fire was extinguished. It's the hope of government that the residents over the hill will be impacted by the formation of the Urban Renewal Authority. Formerly known as the Urban Renewal Commission, the organization seeks to improve the lives of inner-city residents through community-based programs and other efforts to combat poverty and provide education and training. The program also aims to keep young people off the streets, placing them in positive environments and programs. Recently, co-chair Dr. Diana Francis says one of the main goals for the formation of the authority was to separate politics from the organization's work. Prime Minister Philip Davis insists government involvement aside, the program is just one of the ways his administration is changing lives.
We want the Bahamian people to know there are government programs to empower and support their dreams, and that bridges are being built to provide new opportunities. From funding for small businesses to the creation of jobs, from opportunities for training and education to our Second Chance program for youth who run afoul of the law, we are giving Bahamians the hand up they need to lead more fulfilling lives.
The Prime Minister also announced that former Prime Minister Perry Christie has accepted his invitation to guide and direct the Urban Renewal Authority. It was under Christie that then Farm Road Project was formed in 2002. The program was then relaunched as Urban Renewal 2.0 back in 2012. Christie says despite political criticism the program has received over the years, no government should be able to stop the program.
You have to have ownership of this, so governments cannot stupidly changed something that is working for the best interests of the people of the Bahamas. And if we go according to political culture, another government will be elected at some stage, and that government will say that's not our policy.
After months of bitter legal battles and back-and-forth negotiations, Wendy's is finally cleared to open on Paradise Island. Atlantis Resort has withdrawn its lawsuit, ending a contentious dispute that pitted local business expansion against one of the biggest resorts in the country. Our Delvado Emmanuel has the latest.
The Atlantis is concerned with their entities. They have withdrawn their suit, and we are free now to proceed with our original plans.
In a dramatic turn of events, Atlantis Resorts has backed down, clearing the way for Atos Holding to move forward with its highly anticipated Wendy's location on Paradise Island. The decision comes after months of legal wrangling and heated debate over land use and business competition. Atos Holdings Chairman Christopher Savusa says the breakthrough came after a crucial meeting with Atlantis CEO.
And we sat down and had a lengthy discussion and realized we had more things in common as business people and what our initiatives were, and just what's best for the overall the country.
Last July, the Subdivision and Development Appeals Board dismissed the appeals by Atlantis and other major resorts, ruling the Wendy's location did not offend land use restrictions on Paradise Island. The decision also rejects concerns about traffic impact and land capability. Savusa says the company is now focused on finalizing plans and hopes to begin operations early next year.
We don't do anything half-heartedly. We go in and do it properly, and infrastructure is good, and we make certain that we can manage our business. So with that, I don't anticipate any further issues.
The popular franchise is expected to employ some 150 employees upon its completion. Meanwhile, Atlantis remains silent, offering no explanation for its withdrawal or plans to challenge the verdict. Reporting for our news, I'm Delvado Emmanuel.
All right, thanks so much for that, Delvardo. Well, comfortable temperatures as we kick off the work week. Wondering what else we can expect? Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg?
Yeah, we have one front that's just to the north of New Providence. We have a second one that's expected on Thursday and another front expected by the weekend. We should see a cool down on Thursday with that front. It's a little more significant, but this front to the north of us, we're on the south side of that, so we're a bit on the slightly warmer side, 76 degrees. Few clouds, northeast winds at 10 miles per hour, feels like temperature at 76. At frontal boundary, just to the north of the capital, not much in terms of any significant weather associated with the front, some cloudy conditions, maybe a spotty shower or two. Down near the southeast Bahamas, a lot of high-level clouds moving across that area, not really going to be producing any rainfall. But this front is actually going to stall and then back up towards the north, and that's going to slide out east. Then we expect that front to get near on Thursday. Should drop our temperatures into the 70s once again. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. Look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, female excellence in STEM. Hear how young minds are being inspired in the world of science and innovation. Plus, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is going all in on STEM education. SEED 2.0 is now introducing students to trading, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. And later, a day to remember at Yellow Elder Primary School. The nation's top leaders make a surprise visit. That's all coming up when our news returns.
Once I had a gal, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to give you a summer of fun with over $20,000 in cash and prizes. Upgrade your premium lunch combo to a medium or a large, or purchase a large salad with a Coke for a chance to win amazing prizes like a 50-inch TV and soundbar, a staycation at Comfort Suites, or a $3,000 Going Places travel voucher. Enter online at Wendy's Bahamas Facebook page for a chance to win.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you. at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1.
Recently, the world paused to celebrate International Day of Women and Girls in Science. And on Grand Bahama, several organizations teamed up to shine a spotlight on female excellence in STEM in partnership with the Pelican Bay Resort, the Keep Grand Bahama Clean organization, and the Grand Bahama Port Authority's STEM Empowerment and Education Development Program known as SEED. An event was held to recognize the outstanding contributions of women in science across the island. The celebration brought together young women from various schools. Out of 30 nominees, 10 were selected for recognition. Coordinator from Keep Grand Bahama Clean, Cherish Russell, says the initiative is designed to inspire women, while marine ecologist Alana Velicott expressed her joy.
This program was important because we wanted to inspire the next generation of girls to get into the STEM realm, to get into the science realm, because we want them to know that it's achievable. No matter what their goals are, no matter what their dreams are, they can go ahead and they can achieve it and they can do it. It's nothing that we cannot do as women and girls in science in the world.
An opportunity like this to represent this section of science, especially for women and women of color, means everything to me, and it's a big part of my platform, my personal mission, and what it is I stand for.
These young students shared their thoughts on the event.
This event has been outstanding and extremely inspiring for young girls and women in science and STEM fields. We have learned an amazing amount of women who have trailblazed the way for us, the future generation.
The inspiration that I received from today's program was to go forward with my dreams and aspirations that I can do this, and it made me feel better about choosing STEM and going into neuroscience. It made me feel more relaxed that I can do this and I can accomplish what I need to.
All right, well, the Grand Bahama Port Authority is moving full steam ahead with its SEED program, its STEM Empowerment, Education and Development Initiative, which we just heard about, which they believe aligns with government's vision of the branding of Grand Bahama as a tech hub. Chief Investment Officer Derek Newbold explained for years the SEED program has introduced high school students to tech and innovation, but now they are preparing to launch SEED 2.0, which will focus on trading, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. A recent information session was held for students. Newbold says the feedback has been positive.
The support for SEED 2.0 so far is tremendous. It's overwhelming. And it's important to get them involved, because I wish when I was their age someone taught me about financial literacy. What we're about to teach these students, with the knowledge, the skills that they will come in contact with, will help to transform their lives, not just now, but well into the future. Because it doesn't matter what track they decide to take when they graduate. The skills they will learn will benefit them in some way.
In addition, a new app is scheduled to be launched in March in partnership with Learn to Prosper. This app will teach users how to trade and build passive income. CEO of Offcoff Securities Limited, Enan Fernanda, says he is the developer behind the app. SEED coordinator Jacolia Brennan shares more.
If they use Instagram, TikTok, the platform easier to them things to use. So it created to be easy to use for any child from grade 7 to 12.
We are taking registration for the app. You can go on events.gbpa.com. Parents, educators, we want you to follow and understand exactly what your child is downloading on the app. So we're reaching out to them as well, making sure that they understand what the SEED program is and also what Learn to Prosper app is all about.
It's now time for tonight's Financial Market Minute, brought to you by RF, your local investment bank. This has been your Financial Market Minute. To explore the best performing mutual funds in the Bahamas, visit our website at www.rfgroup.com.
When our news comes back from the break, Yellow Elder primary students get an up-close experience with the Prime Minister. An education minister will tell you all about it coming up.
Coming up on sports, dynasties continue in GSSSA, the Tabernacle Falcons upset the top seed in Grand Bahama, and we check in on our college hoopers.
And a beautiful start to the week, but will the good weather hold? Greg is back with your extended forecast when our news continues. Stay with us.
Wendy's and Coca-Cola is ready to...
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price. And you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Unleash resilience. Secure the digital future. Navigate the evolving landscape of cyber threats. The future will be secured. Presenting the Alive Business Cybersecurity Conference. Securing the future. Navigating cyber challenges in business. Thursday, February 20th, 2025, Atlantis, Paradise Island. Register today. This is how we unleash resilience. This is how we create innovation. Together, let's secure the digital future.
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Welcome to Our Sports presented by 10th year seniors. I'm John Mark Nutt. Let's do show. Championships wrapped up over the weekend, and while the juniors saw some familiar faces reclaiming the titles, we had new winners in the seniors. In the junior boys, the most dominant basketball program in the country, the D.W. Davis Royals won their 8th consecutive division title in a series sweep over the C.H. Reeves Raptors. MVP Javada Wright had 28 points to lead the Royals to the 53-51 Game 2 win. Head coach Mark Hanna said the work ethic of his program continues to produce results.
We played many games this year. We been through many tough times together as a team, up and downs in tournaments. So we was able to call time out, pull it together, and pull it off.
In junior girls play, it took 3 consecutive games, but the Raptors won their 3rd consecutive title, completing the backdoor sweep over the Royals. Tajanique Morley delivered an MVP performance following her game winner in Game 2 and had 23 points in the finale. The Raptors won 35-23.
Defense was the key. Defense was the key. And so we were able to stop the best players today, and that's what happened today.
In the senior boys, the C.I. Gibson Rattlers got the better of Anatol Rogers T-Wolves in the last 2 finals. This year, it will be the T-Wolves hosting the championship trophy in convincing fashion. The T-Wolves were led by the sharpshooting backcourt MVP Derek Francis and Cavell Ferguson, who made 10 3-pointers and combined for 44 points in the closeout game. They took Game 2 in the series 85-63.
We have to just stay poised. We know they're going to come out. We're going to give it their all. They're going to be aggressive. But we have to show that poise and that discipline that we know we could in order to become champions.
The senior girls series also went down to a 3rd and deciding game before the Rattlers took down the defending champion CV Bethel Stingrays. MVP Tamika Reckley scored 17 points, and the Rattlers rebound from a Game 1 loss to complete the backdoor sweep.
Those girls locked in from September and worked, and we felt like conditioning was the key to our success also, because they were a little tired, so we were able to force some turnovers and score some easy baskets.
Over in Grand Bahama, the Tabernacle Falcons are back as the senior boys champions. The Falcons defeated the defending champion and top-seeded Sunland Stingers in a 2-game sweep. Anthony Mizik was named the MVP after averaging 17.5 points per game in the series, while his teammate Joquan Roll was named the top defensive player. VJ Edgecombe spent Friday night watching his fellow Bimini Hoopers star in local high school basketball, so naturally, he had to go out and get a win of his own on Saturday. Edgecombe stuffed the stat sheet across the board and finished with 7 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in Baylor's 74-71 win over West Virginia. Others in D1 basketball didn't fare as well. AJ Storr and the number 17 Jayhawks lost 74-67 to the Utah Utes. Frederick King and the number 24 Creighton Blue Jays lost 79-73 to number 9 St. John's. And finally, Dayton Aubrey and Utah State lost 82-79 to New Mexico. That will do it for our sports. This is 10YS. I can see why Ronaldo likes doing this by himself. It's a little comfy. Back to the studio.
Still ahead on our news tonight, a special day for young minds. This as the nation's leader visit Yellow Elder Primary to connect with students. And later, a nice start to the work week. Find out if any changes are in store with Greg when our news returns. Stay with us.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
Joshua Williams here. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button and to follow all of our social media pages. Also, don't forget to push that notification button so that you can see all of the great content from the team you already trust.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
Unleash resilience.
This is our news. Welcome back. We have a frontal boundary that's just north of the capitals, just sitting across South Abaco, the Berry Islands, and into the Florida Straits. Not much weather associated with the front. The front has some clouds associated with the system itself, but basically it's going to stall, should back up towards the north, going to hang around for at least another day. And then we do expect another significant front to get near sometime on Thursday. That should bring a nice change in the atmosphere. Clouds down near the southeast Bahamas, mostly high clouds, not going to produce any rainfall. High pressure across our area will continue to weaken, but once that frontal boundary backs up towards the north and that second front gets in here, we see the winds increasing for the end of the week. Future forecast showing the moisture associated with that boundary. Still just in the north of the capital, it's going to be nearer, so we could see a spotty shower or two, but we think most of the activity will remain over waters. And then by Wednesday, here comes the frontal system associated with that low pressure system across the United States. That one should bring us a nice change in the atmosphere. We're looking for some very cooler temperatures for the end of the week. Boating forecast, northwest and central Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. The rip current risk is still out there. We don't have much in terms of any significant seas. Northeast to east winds, 10 to 15 knot, seas running 2 to 4 feet. Your high tide is at 11:11 tonight. The low tide takes place at 5:29 in the morning. For the southeast Bahamas, rip current risk down there as well. Slightly stronger seas, winds actually, east to southeast 15 knot, seas running 3 to 5 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we'll keep the showers in the forecast for tomorrow, Tuesday, with that frontal boundary hanging out near us here in the capital. But temperatures will stay in the 80s. Then that next front coming through on Thursday, that's the one that's going to bring us a nice change. We're looking for those temperatures to dip into the 70s. Nighttime temperatures will be back into the 60s. So we're looking for some nice changes for the end of the week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
All right, thanks so much, Greg. Well, Prime Minister Philip Davis joined officials from the Ministry of Education at the Yellow Elder Primary School for the National School Breakfast Program. The program was launched back in October 2023, and more schools across the country have been added. The milestone, 500,000 breakfast meals have been served throughout the country. Acting District Superintendent for Western New Providence Primary Schools, Jermaine Butler, says it helps students learn more efficiently.
So this is a guarantee to parents and the nation that students will be in school in a timely manner, receiving a nutritious meal that is going to enhance their learning throughout the rest of the day.
Yellow Elder Primary School Vice Principal Nikisha Burrows tells us they've seen an incremental growth in the academic performance of students. She says that's partially due to the breakfast program.
We have been incrementally getting better each year, because we set a goal every year to increase by 5%, and we have been surpassing that. And I can say that it is in part due to the breakfast program.
Well, they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Good news. With that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening. Hi, and thank you for watching. I'm Natalia Hall. Be sure and hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. Click right over here. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more content.